I was brought up in a Christian family where it was normal to go to church on a Sunday morning. I understood that I was a sinner, I understood that God was holy. My idea of God was more sort of a judging God. I had this fear that, that there was this problem between me and God. The sin was now a barrier between certainly myself and God. The message that I was getting, for some reason, I wasn't hearing how to deal with my sin. I never heard clearly what the solution was. We used to get these great big thunderstorms. You could hear the approaching storm, the thunder and the lightning, and because of this fear I had of God returning, I used to lie awake at night. Thoughts around this could be God returning to judge the world. As I was growing up sort of in my teenage years, it was still not a sort of a full picture of who God was. It was more like a concept or an abstraction. It really hadn't penetrated my heart. I didn't really have any kind of relationship with God. So I started my working career. I was in the merchant navy with a bunch of blokes the whole time. The person I am, I like to be liked. I very much try to fit in with the guys and would, sort of compromise on my beliefs, try and deaden those kind of feelings that were within me with all kinds of things, drinking and all kinds of things. So I got to a turning point in my career where I decided to go overseas and do some backpacking. I also used it as an excuse at that point to break up with a girlfriend, again for selfish reasons. So, when I look back, I can see certainly I was very selfish, especially with my relationships. I got involved with different people. I wasn't being true to them and true to myself, not really considering the consequences of decisions, just thinking what's best for me. A lot of the time that I was making decisions, it didn't sit easily with me. I had some guilt. It was always sort of going against the grain within me, which was always unsettling and always something that I wrestled with. Just that relentless, no real peace, having sort of a hole in my heart. I never found anything that could deal with those thoughts from my youth. You always just keep pushing them aside, but you're not dealing with them. Without me dealing with my sin, I was never going to find the peace. I just couldn't shake it. I just couldn't shake that restlessness. I met another girl in my travels. Ended up returning back to Africa with this girlfriend. After a while back, one Sunday, this girlfriend of mine said, why don't we go to church? I hadn't been to church for a number of years, so I said, sure, let's go. And I heard the message, the gospel of Jesus, and it all became crystallized. And it was almost as if the Lord had been taking me on this journey. Even though I was trying to live apart from Him, He was still revealing Himself to me. And so it was almost like He got me to that point where it all became clear. I actually needed to surrender myself to the Lord and actually hand over the reins of my life to Him. Although I had all this baggage, there was nothing that I needed to do other than to trust the Lord. He had done everything on the cross for me, and He had come to pay the price for my sins. All I needed to do was just to surrender my life to Him rather than having to clean up my acts or anything like that. When I decided to make that commitment, it was like coming home. There was this weight that was taken off my shoulders. I felt released. I don't have a fear of death. I don't have a fear of the Lord returning. I welcome the day that I can actually be with the Lord. I do not think that I need anything else to complete my life. If my life was cut short tomorrow, that's okay. This life is just the beginning. It's what comes next that I'm really excited about. So I know where I'm going, and that's huge.